on, all the things they don't talk about when you're breaking generational curses and shit like that. Like, the things you learn from understanding pain and why pain attracts pain, why the healed attracts healed. It's a mutual understanding. But also the healed can understand pain, but the people in pain don't understand why they understand it so much, so they repel it because they're still in pain and they haven't gotten there yet. But the people that have healed have been through so much pain that they understand it. But that's something that someone that's still in pain doesn't quite understand yet. They don't like that empathetic standpoint, that viewpoint. Especially, different personalities. They could see it as pity. I know. I was one of those persons that saw it as pity. I hate pity. People tell you, I guess I should take my glasses off, huh? Okay. People tell you to break generational curses, right? But they don't tell you all the shit that comes with it. It's like when they tell you to believe, to give yourself to God. They don't tell you all the shit that you're gonna endure. They don't tell you all the shit that you're gonna lose, that you can lose. Like, they say, give your full life to God. Let go and let God. But they don't say, hey, there's a possibility that you can lose everything and everyone that you love. There's a possibility that you can end up depressed. You can lose your family. You can lose your friends. You can end up homeless. But if you do that, there's a greater outcome on the end of that. If you trust Him, He's going to give you so much more on the end of that. Let go of the little teddy bear. He's got a 6-footer for you when you let go of that ugly ratty one. No one tells you that shit. You just have to let go and let God. Trust Him. No one tells you that. When you're breaking these generational curses, no one tells you to let go of your bad habits, because you see that everyone around you is doing this exact same thing, and it's working for them. It seems to be good. So, why not? It can't be that bad to keep doing it. That's their coping mechanism. I'm in a bad place right now. I don't know any other way of coping. I've got to do it. What other way is there? I've learned no other way. There's 1,000 excuses for it. Especially ways to rationalize it when you're not thinking clearly. Especially when you want to give up. Here's the good one. It's in our blood. You're supposed to behave this way. Your last name is XYZ. You have to do this. If you don't do this, it's unnatural. Do you know how long I was told some shit like that? Oh, you have this temper because it's your last name. Oh, you stop doing this. Oh, well, here's your other last name. You have to do this. You stop doing this. Oh, everybody's looking at you funny. Oh, it's disrespectful. You're not doing this. Okay, we don't know who you are anymore. Fuck you. Get out of our face. Yeah, it's majorly like that. Majorly. It's like your family don't know who you are because you won't do a certain thing. And on top of that, it's just like they took offense to it. Everyone took offense to it. Like, okay, well, everyone in our family has a temper, right? Both sides. But it was offensive if, say, one side of the family said you acting like this one person. So I'll just fucking say it. Everyone took offense to it. They said you're acting like your dad. But both my mom and my dad have a fucking temper. Like, it's straight up. Like, both sides of my family has a fucking temper, attitude, whatever. So it doesn't matter what side, who you say you get it from. Both of them have a shitty fucking attitude. But if you said you're acting like your dad, it was just offensive. I'm like, I get it from fucking both of them. Guess what? They both fucking raised me. I know which one raised me a majority of the time. And here's where I learned how to stop taking offense to it. And here's where the problem came from. I was like, you know what? You're right. I am acting like him. Because that motherfucker raised me. And when I would do it around my family, they got mad. Because I stopped getting mad like them. It stopped becoming offensive. And they couldn't hurt me from it. Because it still hurt them. And I'm like, why are you getting mad? I'm like, because you are acting like him. He raised you. He's your fucking dad. You mad because you acting like the motherfucker that raised you? That shouldn't be offensive. I'm like, I sat down and I thought about like the 95 other things that I got mad about, or the other things that I do like, that I do that came from him, and I'm like, oh shit. I like potatoes. I like French fries. Guess what he made 99% of the time? Motherfucking French fries. I like to eat carne asada. Guess what he made 90% of the time? Fucking carne asada and fucking French fries. Oh my goodness. I can't stand burps. I thought it was my mom. No. He fucking burps all the fucking time. He'll drink beer all fucking day. Just, and I'm like, makes my skin crawl. I could just go on all day about shit that irritates me. And I look and he does it. And it wasn't until I was an adult and I went back to live with him. And I was like, oh, it's you. It's fucking you. And not too long before that, I had read a quote. The things we hate about other people are the things we see in ourselves. Things that I saw in myself were things that I hated about him. That I got directly from him. But then it helped me when I saw other people get mad at me. I'm like, oh, you don't like this about me? Do you not do it, or do you want to do it, or excuse me, there's something about me that you see in yourself, or like you see something in me that reminds you of yourself. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Until you can fix that in yourself, I'm okay with you being the soundboard for why you're mad. Whether it's the fact that you don't want to be mad anymore and you wish you could be at the point that I'm at, I'll let you be mad at me. But I'm not going to sit here while you take that shit out on me because I didn't do anything to you. I'm letting you know that you can get here one day. But I let you know a long time ago that I wasn't going to be mad my entire fucking life. because I've been watching them, my parents, fight our entire fucking lives. We've been fighting amongst ourselves our entire fucking lives. So I knew as a child I was going to break this particular generational fucking curse before I was a fucking adult. Now that I am an adult and I'm getting wiser, oh, it's getting done. But no, I didn't know that my whole family was going to turn against me. Look around, I'm by myself. They trying to get me back, but every time that I come back around them, you can see the anger and the pain and all the shit that's being brought up from like 10, 15, 20 years ago. And I'm like, oh, you talking about the time that I slammed your head on the table? The time I packed you out? The time that I did this? I was like, I was like 7, right? I was like 12, right? I was like 16, right? I'm fucking 28. You talking about shit that I did when I was a child? I'm 28. Do you not realize I'm almost 30 years old? What are y'all not comprehending? I'm grown. I drive my own car. I got my own job, my own health insurance, everything. I do this on my own. I pay my own bills. So what are y'all not comprehending? Okay. Y'all still the same little ass girl. I understand. I'm the youngest. I'm the baby. Y'all can do that. It's gonna happen for you. You can still see me as a little girl. But one day you're going to have to acknowledge that I am a grown-ass woman. Do you want me to tell you all the things that make me a grown-ass woman? You're not going to want to hear it. I promise you. Because hearing the shit that makes y'all mad about each other, I'm like, ooh, honey, I've done worse. Why do you think I'm so compassionate? Hearing the shit that upsets you, what hurts your feelings about what's being said about you behind your back. That's why I'm being so nice to you. Because I've done worse. That's why I never told you what I've done. Because I've done worse. Pain understands pain. You said find my triggers. I know my triggers. But I also understand your pain. That's why I say don't come for me. Because when I come for you, I'm going to make sure I fucking hurt you. And I will not apologize. So you tried me. I hurt your feelings, didn't I? I hurt your fucking feelings. And then I proceeded to not apologize, right? Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Christine, right? Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Would you like to introduce yourself? Because I think you misunderstood the part where I already know you. I know you fairly well. I like people. I like to know how the human mind works, how humans function. I like to sit back quietly and watch. I've been through a lot of fucking shit that people don't know. So on top of watching how people function and move, I have a natural habit to watch motherfuckers, how they interact with each other, how they carry themselves, their morals, their integrity, all that shit. Just off general principle. Because ain't nobody gonna slide me back door. Fuck that shit. Because of the pain that I've already endured. Mentally, physically, all that shit. Christine, how are you just passed out? You were high as shit, all this shit. And all of a sudden you popped up and was all up in the conversation. Because even when I'm not alert, I'm paying the fuck attention. I could be asleep. If I am not in the comfort of my own home, if I am not in a comfortable situation where I feel like I could fully be asleep and not have to worry about if I gotta get up and pack somebody out, best believe I'm awake. I basically got one eye open, and I could be up and ready to go at any moment. Head on a swivel, ready so I don't gotta get ready. I basically got my whole outfit on, shoes on, everything. Bags never unpacked. I'm that type of bitch. because I know my triggers. I know my pain. I know myself. I'm breaking generational curses. If you were to write a book on my life, the subject matter would be survival. It took me a long time to realize that I attracted a lot of other people that were in pain, because even if I didn't speak on my own pain, I just looked for people that I knew were in the same situation I was in, because they spoke to me. And if I had to one day, break down and be like, hey, I'm going through this shit, they would remotely understand, because their general circumstances were close enough to mine that they could remotely understand. This is why like I said, I generally pick the people around me in a particular manner. I strategically pick the people in my circle. Don't ever think that I just picked people to be around me because I had no one else to be around. You got me fucked up. I don't just hang out with whoever's wants to hang out with me. Motherfucker, I'm not that bitch. Don't project your past life or your life onto me. I'm not that bitch. And I've had that done to me. That's why I'm saying that particular line, because someone that said that to me, I'm like, no, I'm not a social butterfly in that matter. You think I'm a social butterfly like that because I don't know where I fit in. I know where I fit in, honey. Just because I'm smart and I have particular interests, I also know that my particular interests don't align with the type of people that I hang out with. The type of people I hang out with, we mesh well for different reasons. But my interest in like science and humans and different shit like that, yeah, that's not where they line up. Yes, I hang out with like drug dealers and shit like that for different reasons. For like, there's a time and a place for different people. So I think that's why they're like, oh yeah, you're a social butterfly. You find out people that you feel. Nah, homie. Like, I hang out with them because of my background. Because if I had to tell them my personal issues, they're gonna be the ones that understand. If I tell the people that could understand my science interests, the shit that I grew up on, they're not gonna understand my background. They're gonna be like, oh, that sucks. My family, we eat together at the dinner table. I'm gonna be like, damn, I don't know what that's like. I'm gonna be like, my family be throwing each other through the dinner table. Yeah, that doesn't really align. But I'm trying to build a family that eats at the dinner table instead of putting each other through the dinner table, throwing shit at each other's head at the dinner table. That's not really like when I have conversations like that, those people that are like, oh yeah, you don't know where you fit in. You never knew where you fit in. If I tell you that I'm throwing shit at my family members, I'm fighting them motherfuckers, you're like, oh, you did? I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. Half the time I had fun, the other half I'm wishing we went round two. Cause I didn't finish, and I'm like, I wish that bitch, let me go back at it, motherfucker. Like, who are you to hit me? There's just certain shit certain motherfuckers just don't understand. And if you know where you fit in, you know that there's gonna be certain type of motherfuckers that understand shit like that. That's why I say pain attracts pain. If you know people that have endured pain, you're gonna know that you can go to a certain type of people, a certain group, they're going to understand that, no questions asked. That's why I said I never had to really tell people that, but I knew that they knew my pain. Straight up. No questions asked, never even had to say shit. I just knew they was on the same tip. Pain attracts pain. We ran to each other for years, and they never knew my background, but there was always this bond, this link, because we had commonalities. And when I went to another group, the only commonalities were like-mindedness, but the like-mindedness was my thought process, but in reality, my thought process wasn't really there, because they were like, what you do on the weekend? I'm like, shit, you don't want to know that I do on the weekend. So a man becomes whole when he realizes that his two lives are one, or some shit like that. You can't live two lives when you don't realize that you only have one. I got quotes for days. It's just life is some bullshit. People stay on bullshit. I tell you that for sure. Don't ever let people test you that aren't willing to deal with the repercussions of their actions. One thing I've always prided myself on is every action I've taken, I've weighed out the outcome and been willing to deal with the repercussions. And if I'm not willing to deal with the repercussions, I'm not gonna do it. And that's how I was able to live a fuck it lifestyle. Cause fuck it, I'ma do it. You know, like, I'ma do whatever I want to. I'm gonna wake up and do what I want to whenever I want to. And if I'm not willing to deal with the repercussions, if it's something as wild as, having to fight somebody or go to jail or some shit, then I'm not gonna do it. But, if that's not the case, then I don't have to do some shit like that, then I'm chilling, I'm gonna do it, or not, whatever. Sometimes I might have to do some shit like that, but I'm gonna do it anyway, whatever. I might have said that twice, but I think you know what I'm going with that, because I'm a little risky. It's just live your life how you want to live with the life, but be willing to live with the outcomes. People will say some shit to you and not be willing to live with the outcomes. I'd be reading my Bible app because I'm trying to remember the verse, and I don't think I remember the particular verse, so I can recite it to you. But and it's also in the service that I watch, because I go to church. You can forgive people because forgiveness is 77 times 7 times. You're always going to forgive people. Forgive people. You can forgive people, but don't allow them back into your life. If you keep forgiving people and they keep doing the same thing over and over again, they're going to think it's okay to treat you any type of way, and that's not cool. It's not something you can do, because it's going to start wearing on you. Snip that shit in the butt and keep them at a distance. Set boundaries and let them know, hey, you're not going to be able to treat me however you want to. If it comes down to cutting you out of my life, cool. We're not enemies. We're not nothing. You just not in my life no more. Until you can understand that the way that you treat me is not acceptable, and I'm not going to allow you to be in my life if you think that the way that you treat me is a way that you can treat anybody, especially if you think that this is a way that you can treat family, because you're like, oh, family's forever. So because you have to be in my life for the rest of my life, I can treat you for however I want to, and whenever I feel like it's cool, I'm not mad at you anymore, even though I was the one that did whatever the fuck I wanted to, said whatever the fuck I wanted to. You can just come on back. Nah. It's deal with the repercussions of your actions, of your anger, of whatever the fuck you did, you said, whatever, and stay at a distance. This is me saying, even family has to deal with boundaries set. You don't have to deal with people treating you like a doormat, a punching bag, whatever. Forgive them for the sake of your well-being. Forgiveness is for you, not the other person. Apologies are for the other person. When you apologize for the benefit of someone else, not yourself. You forgive someone for the benefit of yourself, not for the benefit of someone else. There's a difference. Those two things are very different. You forgive someone for yourself. Forgiveness, they say, like holding that spitefulness in or whatever it is like drinking poison and expecting somebody else dying, or that anger. So when you do that, just let it go. But don't let them back in your life, because that's letting them know, oh yeah, I can treat them however they want to. And when they're lonely or whatever the feeling they feeling, they're going to let me back in. When I feel like it, when I deem it so, whenever I feel like whatever, and I'm going to keep treating them that way. When I get mad, when I feel like this, when I can't treat somebody else or my family or whoever because they going to walk out my life. They going to do whatever they can. They're not going to do what this person is going to do. What I can do to them. I can treat them however I feel like it. But if I did that shit to somebody else, they wouldn't have that no type of way. Don't be that person. Even if you got everybody wolfing in your ear like, oh, why aren't you talking to them? You should talk to them. Don't be that person. Be the bigger person. Oh, you got God in your life. Nah. Don't let them say shit to you. Don't fold for no type of person. Stand tall, stand on all 10 toes and be like, fuck them. I'm standing my ground. Just like I stood my ground for everything else, I'm going to stand on this. Just like breaking the generational curse. When they was mad about whatever the fuck else you did, they're going to have to be mad about this. This goes in with, like I said, the generational curse. Whatever you were standing up for, stand strong, stand alone, stand against the current, stand against the grain, stand on your own, but stand on your 10 toes and stand up for what you fucking believe in and fuck everybody else. Because everybody else is going to sit there and tell you not to believe in what the fuck you believe in. Go with everybody else. Go with the new norms or the normals or whatever it is. If you know what you believe in is right, fuck what anybody else got to say. Because you know that you're right. And 90% of the time, if you know you are right, especially the first time around, don't second guess yourself. Because if it comes in your mind that you were right, it's in your mind for a reason. Because you know it. It's a philosopher. I would say Plato. They're me second guessing myself. So probably Google Plato and it's gonna be right. He was the philosopher that said that if not then Socrates, but either one of those two. He's the philosopher that said that if you have it's like when you're guessing a multiple choice question. The first if you said B was the first answer, but you're guessing between B and C, go with B because B came in your mind. If that was whatever answer was B, you saw it somewhere before, so chances are the answer was B because your conscience is telling you that B was the answer. And then when you get the answers back, when you get your test back, and you had, the faded answer B was filled in, but you see, filled in C, and you be like, damn, I knew I should have put B. That's the moment. Don't second guess yourself. Stand 10 toes down because you knew the answer. These are the moments where you stand 10 toes down on the answer where you did it first, Ray J that shit.